All right, everybody. We are going to welcome Coach Damon to the podium, everybody. Coach Damon. Yeah, Coach, over here.
Go ahead.
This is Matt Nash from ESPN.com. Hell of a game, first and foremost. Very entertaining to watch. A great way to end your season. I'm going to ask the question that's obvious on everybody's mind right now. How are you feeling about your season? Is this a disappointing season because of how it ended, or are you happy with how it turned out? Only having two losses on the season in your first season as a coach. What do you hope to do from here? What's your goal?
Great question. First and foremost, I don't like people with the last name of Nash after that game. Let's go ahead and throw that out there. And no, I don't think it's a disappointment. I think two losses is a good start to the season. A good start to the dynasty. Not sure what Toledo's finished as last year, but I'm sure it was a major improvement, especially coming from the MAC to the Pac-12.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Coach over here.
yeah. Oh,
Go ahead.
Uh, so sorry. The guy to my left actually had a question. He was afraid to speak up, so I'm just raising my hand for him. Go ahead, guy to my left.
yeah, Coach over here.
Go ahead.
Uh, from Monday Cheese from the Yale Press. Uh, it seemed like when you guys went into overtime, your first overtime possession was phenomenal. Being able to run the ball effectively on the first play. That second overtime drive that I thought you pretty much the pick six. What was your game plan going into that second overtime? It seemed like it just wasn't your usual style of play calling. What kind of changed?
Great question. Right before the play, saw the linebacker moving around. Figured my opponent was keying off that linebacker and was going to follow my run, so tried to throw him off with a little underneath pass, and unfortunately he read the play and took it the other way.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Coach over here.
Go ahead.
Yes, this is Carrie Mysack from Columbus Gazette Bugle Global News. So during that game, you were starting a freshman quarterback. Obviously, he wasn't your starter at the beginning of the year, but you made some changes. How do you feel about his performance? He threw a couple big interceptions throughout that game. Is this something that you're going to look to keep going into next season? Keep him at the helm, or are we looking to find somebody else?
Good question. I think next season we're going to continue with R.J. Johnson the third. He's just a redshirt freshman. He's got 3 more years ahead of him. He is one of the fastest quarterbacks on the team, and we tried to implement that into the plays. Let's maybe next year do some more option plays. But yeah, he had a couple mistakes. It's going to be a learning curve, and we'll see our fate whenever the next week comes around.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach over here.
Go ahead.
Uh, Tony Stark of the Avenger Initiative. Uh, with being a new addition to the Pac-12, and hearing of some other rumblings, some other rumors of coaches possibly hitting the carousel, maybe wanting to test, if they get better offers, whether it be head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. How do you feel about those rumors? Do you see yourself at Toledo for multiple years, or do you want to maybe test the carousel? How do you see your future at Toledo and being involved in the rest of the Pac-12?
Great question. I think with this being the first year, I think we started off great. I think we're gonna continue with the Rocket tradition. We're not gonna we're not gonna switch teams this year. We're gonna continue to build this team better and better and better, and hopefully finish with a undefeated season next season.
Awesome, thank you, Coach.
Coach over here.
Go ahead.
Yes, this is Wang Fat from China. I'm just from China. I'm not actually, a part of anything. But I just walked in. So,
Security.
no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. So a lot of teams have traditions like turnover traditions, and we noticed that on the sideline, your team has the tradition of utilizing the Toledo Rocket as a dildo and shoving up the person's ass that gets the interception. Where did that tradition come from, Coach?
That was adopted from Coach Riley over there at San Jose State. He was actually trying to run over on our sideline multiple times during the game and do that himself. We had to tell him he's on the wrong team and send him back across the field. But yeah, that's a tradition that Coach Riley has started over there.
Thank you, Coach. And another follow up question: will those dildos be going on sale at any point?
I believe so. I don't think they're going to be cleaned either.
Even better. Thank you, Coach. Coach over here.
Go ahead.
Yes, this is Bruce Willis from Die Hard University. So during the game, there was a big turning point that I feel like could have switched the momentum in your favor. Where there was a fumble that happened. You did turn around and get a pick six on that play, but that had to be demoralizing. Is that something that you're going to be talking to your line about? The fact that they didn't fall on the ball like they should have. Instead, they try to pick it up and run for the touchdown, which caused you not to get that turnover at that point.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna hit the film room, and we're gonna go over the game, learn from our mistakes, and hopefully move forward from that. Tell the defensive linemen that they're not running backs and to just fall on the ball.
All right, we got time for one more question. Everybody, one more question. Yeah, Coach over here.
Go ahead.
Hey, this is Suburban Meyer from Appalachian State. I actually didn't have anything to do this week, so I figured I would attend the game.
How you doing,
So
Coach?
I've been better. Ranked number 25 in the nation, but I'm going to be at Appalachian State forever. I'm never going to leave. So looking to do
Good
big
to hear.
things at Appalachian State.
Good to hear.
You ended up like trying to go for it on in the overtime, and go for two there and try to secure the win there. Ended up not doing it, obviously, that we talked about before. Did you have flashbacks to when I destroyed you in that overtime?
When I destroyed you.
Uh, no, Coach, I did not. Coach Riley said it best during the game. He remembered my RPO play, so he switched to man coverage, and I unfortunately did not have a play at the time to beat that.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll see you next year. All
Good
right,
day.
thank you, Coach Damon. We're going to welcome Coach Riley to the podium now.
How's everyone doing?
I'm good,
Yeah,
Coach.
Coach over here.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Fook Me from the Austin Powers Intel. What was the message you told your defense just going into just the overtimes in general? Because it just looked like a offensive firepower just all throughout the game. What was the message you wanted to deliver home to your defense going into overtime?
Yeah, well, we knew we were going against one of the best offenses in the nation going into the game. Um, all week we've been preaching discipline, discipline, discipline. Um, last time we went against Toledo earlier in the season, we were down 35-7 going into half. So we wanted to avoid that. We wanted to avoid big deficits. 17 tied up going in half, 17 all. Um, and then obviously in the second half, the offensive shootout really begun, and So going into overtime, I just we got the defense together, and the second overtime specifically, we got the defense together, and um, we just huddled them all up, and we said, this team makes plays. That's what this team does. We make plays on offense, we make plays on defense. Go make a play, and man, did they ever! A pick six to seal a game of this magnitude. It's I'm really, really, really proud of those guys there on the defense side of the ball.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, Fook.
Yeah, Coach over here.
Go ahead.
This is Hugh Janus from HBO Hard Knocks. We're looking to do potential college next year, so keep your itinerary open for that call. So you went for it several times in the second or in the first half on fourth down, which characteristically for you, that isn't something that you do often. Was that in direct response to your opponent and feeling that you had to go for it to keep up with them?
Yes and no. It's not the sole reason. We did the same thing against Stanford a couple of weeks ago, and it it cost us the game. But the feedback I got from the players, the feedback I got from the coaches was that's the kind of football we want to play here. We want to play that aggressive style of football. We want to go at you. And so we went for a total of 4 times on fourth down, 3 of those being in the first half. And yeah, I mean, if the situation's appropriate and and we're in a position to make some plays, then all things are on the table. In terms of it being for this opponent, we have a lot of respect for Toledo. Obviously, we playing them earlier in the season, we knew what kind of firepower was coming against us on their offensive side of the ball. So if we could go for it on fourth down and buy ourselves another set of downs or possibly more points, we're definitely going to look at that and go at them. Play aggressive.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, Hugh.
Yeah, Coach over here.
Yep.
This is Ligma Nuts off of the from I don't know where I'm from, just Ligma Nuts. Your receiver just had a phenomenal game. Was going into this game, was he a big part of the offense? Were you trying to obviously spread the ball around to other guys, get everyone else involved, or was the main offensive game plan just get it to your stars, any way possible?
Yeah, well, that's what we like to do. We like to get the ball to our best playmakers, and don't get me wrong, we got playmakers all across the field. But I've been saying since week 1, Nick Nash is the best receiver in college football. So when you have a weapon like that, you've got to get him the ball. When we played Toledo last time, they had a great game plan in limiting his touches. He actually only limited him to 1 target the entire game, which was a contested ball that he dropped. So going into this week, we knew that they were going to do a similar game plan of making sure that he does not get the ball. And so we had to play chess while they were playing checkers. And when they made an adjustment, we adjusted to that. We were going to make sure that we got the best players involved today.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, Lig.
Yeah, Coach over here.
Sure.
Hey, Matt Nash from Appalachian University State. So I was looking at I'm a big fan of the Amazon analytics, what you should have done in this situation type of deal. And looking at the analytics for the when you got that fumble recovery late in the fourth, how you managed the clock, according to Amazon AWS Web Services, they're saying that you're a fucking moron. I personally feel like you could have handled it better, but I want to sort of hear what your thought process was, why you ran the ball so much, why you didn't utilize all your timeouts, and why you ended up giving the ball back late in the fourth.
Yeah, obviously, not every game plan goes accordingly. We had the ball on our own, on our own 47 with about 30-ish seconds left, maybe a little bit more than 30 seconds, and so our idea was to get it at least within a prayer of a field goal, and we we had hit a 46-yarder previously in the game. We were feeling pretty good about just getting it in the vicinity to kick a field goal, and so we first of all we ran the clock, knowing that they only had that they didn't have any timeouts left, so we wanted to make sure that clock was running. So in the event that they did get the football back, there'd be a limited amount of time for them. Obviously, ran the ball, got the clock running, and then 3 plays later, or 2 plays later, it's fourth and 8, with 15 seconds left. Let the clock drain down to 8 seconds. The idea was with 8 seconds left, fourth and 9, try to get a quick shot past the first down marker. If we got a quick shot past the first down marker, we were confident that we could get a field goal, at the very least a Hail Mary attempt. We have phenomenal playmakers on the outside. I'll take my receiver over any DB any day of the week when it comes to receiving the ball. So get those guys on the outside. If we didn't get it on fourth and 9 with 8 seconds left, we obviously knew that Toledo was going to get the ball back. The reason why we did that, knowing the outcome if things didn't go our way, was because if they decided to send up a prayer, Toledo that is, we have the most interceptions in college football. We have DBs that go catch the ball. We have DBs that could play receivers on other teams. So I'll take my 7 DBs against their 3 receivers 10 times out of 10. So that was the thought process. Obviously, the game plan didn't go as expected, but we have a good safety blanket in our defense when it comes to creating turnovers.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, Coach over here.
Sure.
This is Thor Eldenson of the Ragnarok Inquiry. Kind of bouncing off a question that I heard asked from or towards the Toledo head coach, with all these rumors circulating of coaches hitting the coaching carousel. Whether we want to find a new position, go to a new school. Do you see yourself with San Jose State trying to build a program to the best of your abilities, or what's your plans for your future, Coach?
I'm with my first season being a head coach and being able to be here at San Jose State, my alma mater, where I graduated. Of course, there's going to be bigger schools out there. Of course, there's going to be opportunities that arise. I can't speak of the distant future, but I am committed to the Spartans. I am committed to San Jose State. We had a phenomenal first year, 10-3, Pac-12 champions. I couldn't be prouder of this team. We got a phenomenal recruiting class coming in. The future looks bright here in San Jose. So I'm staying. I know there's a lot of rumors of other coaches, but I'm not. No, I'm not looking to leave anytime soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thanks.
All right, we have time for one more question. Coach over here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, this is Suburban Meyer. Again, visiting, watching the Pac-12. Hell of a game between you guys. And we have it in common that we both were able to beat Coach Damon. So,
Of course. Thanks for laying the blueprint.
Yeah, for sure. So, we obviously didn't get a chance to play each other this year. We have the option. The Pac-12 is implementing something new where we can choose our rivalry game. And I wanted to throw the challenge down right now to you. to take on Appalachian State next year because I'm definitely going to be at Appalachian State. I'm not leaving the team ever. So if you would accept my challenge, I would greatly appreciate it so we can show you what Appalachian State's all about.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm gonna lead into it with this. Since week one, I have been saying San Jose State is one of the best teams in the nation. I realize we were ranked 25 going into this week, but we're Pac-12 champions. We put down a convincing win against a solid opponent. We should be in the playoffs. And I realize how unlikely it is that a 25th ranked team will jump up to 12 and be in the playoffs. But this team can put a hurting to a lot of those Power Four teams. This team deserves to be in there, and so it doesn't matter who we line up against. I take my team way more often than not. And so to respond to your challenge, absolutely. Whatever team ends up on the schedule is a team we're wanting to play. My team constantly is itching to get out in the field and show what they can do.
All right. Well, Coach, we'll look forward to facing you next year. Definitely as Appalachian State.
Yep. The Mountaineers versus Spartans. Can't wait. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, Coach. Wait,
Oh.
one more over here.
That was my last one. All right, go ahead.
This is Daniel Sleeper, head coach of the Texas State Bobcats. First, want to congratulate both of you on a phenomenal game. Way to represent the conference. The watching the third quarter and the fourth quarter, just back and forth action. Did you have flashbacks of our game, the way you pretty much choked in our game, letting me come back and pretty much beat you guys? Was that going on in the back of your head? Just don't choke, don't choke, don't choke.
Yeah, the only thing I was really thinking about, Daniel, I'm glad you asked this question, but the only thing I was thinking about was the hardware that's going to look great in my trophy case. What kind of hardware did you get this year? Sorry, time's up. Gotta go. Thanks, everyone.